Dave, coming off of a doubleheader, who is available out of the bullpen tonight?
I think guys haven't gone out there and played catch, but if I'm looking at workloads, I think everyone's available. We have an off day tomorrow. Expect Walker to pitch well, but I think that as I look at it right now, Kirsten, everyone's available.
That sounds great. And then last night you mentioned Scott Alexander dealing with some arm soreness. Is there any more to that? And is he available tonight?
He went out and played catch a little bit earlier, and he's going to play a little bit more catch in a little bit, but said that it's gone, that soreness, so he's back online.
Great. Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Dave, you mentioned last night a possibility of a roster move. Is that not going to happen now?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of put out in the notes, but we're going to make a move in IL Edwin Rios and add Edwin Uceta.
What's Edwin dealing with? Edwin Rios?
It's a right shoulder, something going on with his right shoulder that's really affecting his swing. And Eddie's not a guy that's going to make excuses, but that's kind of what he's dealing with. So we're gonna put him on the IL and get him back.
Do you know how long that's been bothering him?
I think it's something that's kind of over time, and it's just kind of been bothering him, impeding his swing. So I don't know the timeline though.
And Uceta, how do you guys plan to use him?
It just length. I think that he's shown the ability to throw strikes, and so if we need him for length, they'll be there for us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question from Juan Toribio. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, yesterday you said Bruce Dar's MRI came back negative, which is obviously good. But what's kind of the next step for him? What does he have to do next?
I think the next step is for Bruce Dar to stay with us, to travel with us tonight back to Los Angeles, and then he'll make his way to Arizona and be on the mend.
And is it a soreness thing? Like, does the soreness have to go down, or is he past that? Like, what would he have to do to kind of pick up a baseball now?
Yeah, obviously pass some strength tests. The soreness has to be out, and then he starts his throwing progression. So, right now for me, it's not something that's close enough where I need to monitor it on the day-to-day. But, my hope is that he'll get back to health at some point in time soon.
And one more for me, Dave. Mookie in spring training said that the toughest part of repeating is just that every team kind of gives you their best. 31 or 32 games into it, are you guys feeling that? Like every team just kind of gets up to play you guys?
Absolutely. And that's what we had expected. But until you're there, you don't really know what it's like. So we've always had a target as far as being the Dodgers. But when you're reigning world champs, teams certainly get up to play. Like every game is game 7. And I think that we've seen it with, how managers have deployed bullpens and the intensity that teams have showed playing us. So it's up to us to match that. And I know we will.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Next question from Dave Vassay. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Dave, you've experienced a slow start with the team back in 2018. You guys were 10 games under 500 in May that year and went on to win the division, go on to the World Series. I know every year is unique to itself, but does this feel like that year?
It's interesting. I vaguely remember that bad start that we had. It was almost, I do recall, no matter what we did, we were going to find ways to lose games. And a little bit this last 10 days sort of feels like that. It's not lack of talent. It's not lack of preparation. It's kind of, that's how baseball goes. You just got to be mentally tough as a team to know that it's going to turn. And There's no exact science on when that turns, Dave. And as we've shown in the past, and I think you can look at 18, you can look at 17 in September. I think we were really bad early, and we finished off really well. So things can change. And for me, as long as we stay together with the talent that we have, we'll weather this.
Are you confident that with all the miles that you guys have had, these core group of players, that they still have enough left mentally to try to come together and get through this tough part of the season?
Yeah, I do. I do. I know we couldn't wait to get back to playing baseball after winning the World Series. So baseball is always difficult. No one's going to feel sorry for you, but we've been, tried and we've overcome a lot of adversities and succeeded. So yeah, the concern of these guys accepting the challenge or getting through this grind is not a concern for me.
And one final thing, everybody talks about some of these other role players, but what have you seen from Corey Seager as far as his at bats? And is it as simple as saying once Mookie and Seager, who led your offense last year, once they get rolling, this offense is going to start hitting its potential?
I honestly, I think that any team can say that. If you take your top two hitters and if they're swinging the bats, there's going to be more offensive production. They're taking the most at bats in a game. And so typically they're your better hitters. So there's more scoring opportunities. So I think that is simple. And now you kind of look at in practice, they're both grinding. No one's trying to make outs or, roll over on a first pitch sinker or change up. So I'm going to keep running them out there, and they're working really hard with the hitting guys, and they're just so talented. They'll get going again.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Next question is from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Dave, you mentioned with Rios that the injury was impeding his swing. Can we say that it was the major reason for his slump?
I think that as I talked to Edwin and kind of got more color on it, I think that had a big part to it. I don't think Edwin, he's not an excuse maker, and so he'll never use it as an excuse, but I certainly believe that the shoulder affected performance largely. Yeah.
And injury aside, how good is the downtime going to be for him mentally?
Yeah, I think that just to get away from this hot box and not have to, see what the scoreboard says and hear about things, just to take a breath. I think it'll be good for him mentally, physically, emotionally. And so just to get a reset. So number one, we got to get him back healthy and then get him swinging free and easy and get that shoulder healthy. And whatever that means, I think that we'll know more in the coming days. And then once he gets back, it'll just give him a much better chance for success.
And with minor league season start, any of your injured guys in Arizona ready to go play anywhere? Bellinger, Kelly, Price, McKinstry, that group?
I don't see Joe going. I think that Joe's going to join us at some point, so I don't see him going out to the AAA club. McKinstry, I don't know how close he is to playing, but I see him taking rehab at bats with those guys when it makes sense. And with Cody, depending on his progression, I can see that happening as well. The same program as Zach is on.
Any updates on where he stands or where Price stands?
I don't think Cody is running at full speed, full body weight. Still continue to keep the arm moving, taking batting practice. David's been off the mound, so I don't know the last time or the next time he's going to take the mound is. And Joe's gone back to back. He's gone 1+. So again, if all things check out over the next couple of days, I would anticipate Joe being with us soon.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from Eric Steven. Go ahead.
Dave, speaking of the minors, Jamie Wright's coaching the pitchers in Oklahoma City now. He was around for your first spring with the Dodgers, but he ended up retiring. What do you remember from him that spring?
I remember he was hanging on. It's funny is that he was friendly with a lot of the players, Clayton being one of them, and Bardo being a coach and was friendly with Bardo. But what's funny is that he came into my office this past winter and said, I was watching some video of me that spring and comparing my stuff to some of the stuff that other guys pitch in the same game. And he was nowhere near the talent and he was done. But he applauded me and the organization for making him feel like he had some semblance of a chance to get hitters out. So that was kind of funny, but J-Mo was just a great guy, very energetic, willing to teach, wanting to teach. So to see him back teaching in the game, it's a plus for baseball.
So I remember that, like I think the day he retired in Arizona, or he decided not to go to Freeway Series, but the day he retired, he said one of the things he was going to miss was he was only with you for like 6 weeks, and he said he knew you were going to be a really good manager. That was one of the things he regretted, like about not continuing to play. Well, what do you think about that?
Well, from a guy that played for 16, 17 years in the major leagues and is known by everyone as a great competitor and great teammate, that means a lot. That means a lot. And that's, that's as good a compliment as you can get from somebody that I really respect. I felt a little slighted because I didn't get a chance to spend more time with them. And so I wish we had a chance to play together. We competed against each other many times. I remember a front door cutter that he threw and hit me right in the knee one time. So I haven't forgotten that one. So I guess a compliment, we're even.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
All right, Eric.
We got time for one more. Go ahead, Ron Kavner.
Hey, Dave, while we're talking about AAA guys, just kind of curious, you got to spend obviously maybe more time with Josiah Gray over the last kind of year with outside stuff and spring training. I'm just kind of curious what you thought his next sort of step in his development is as a prospect as he gets ready to go.
Yeah, so Josiah, he's come quick. Very live arm, not a whole lot of mileage, great makeup, great body, great head, work ethic, all that. I think for me, we view him as a starter, and it's a plus fastball with great characteristics. Just continue to work on the command. There's a lot of arm side miss, and when he can clean that up, and the changeup, he's got a really good changeup that he can throw to righties, throw to lefties, and just continue to develop the breaking ball. And so, something to strike it, shorten it. And, as a starter, potential starter, you got to have that 3-pitch mix, in my opinion. So there's nothing that Josiah hasn't been able to dominate it when he puts his mind to it. So that's an easy bet.
Thank you.